morning, students, and welcome to our fourth part of the chapter Electromagnetic Induction. It is a 12th chapter. We're continuing with the same chapter of physics. So now, last lectures, we'll just have a recap what we studied in the last lecture. So what did we study? First, we saw the energy inductance and energy transfer. In that, we saw that before that we saw the electromotive force, motional electromotive force. First, we saw translational motion, and then we saw the rotational motion. For both cases, we have seen that E is equal to dl. E what? E is the induced EMF. And then we have seen before that also Faraday's law, Lenz's law. Then second one, which last lecture which we saw was the inductance and energy transfer, in which P is equal to Fp. So we saw that, and we saw the relation. Then we saw that in that relation we saw that the mechanical heat energy work, the work done, or the rate of doing mechanical work is equal to the heat energy. It is like when a loop is pulled from some magnetic field, uniform magnetic field, then what work is done, and that mechanical work done is converted into heat energy. So that is by Joule's law we know, and then that loop it gets heated. Then we saw the same principle applies when we saw the eddy currents. So what are eddy currents? In eddy current, we have this one loop, and due to when this loop or the plate, now instead of loop, we are going to have the conducting plate for the eddy currents. In that eddy currents, if that loop, the conductor is placed in the uniform magnetic field or in the changing magnetic field, what happens? That because of that, there is a relative motion between the magnetic field and the conductor. And then we have if there is a single loop, there is only a single, current loop or induced current. But due to the plate which is placed, there are a number of electrons, and because of that, they spin in a motion, in a circular motion, and that is nothing but the eddy currents. Now, when this plate is placed in the magnetic field, what happens? It moves in like a pendulum. But because the mechanical energy is getting converted into heat energy, what happens is slowly this energy decreases, and then this conducting plate, it comes to standstill, or it stops. So to keep it in motion, in moving motion, the eddy currents has to be reduced. And to reduce this eddy currents, there is slots, or we can say there is a continuity in the structure of the conducting plate. So that is how the eddy currents are given. Now, what is the applications of the eddy currents? I told you as a homework last time what you have to do. In that, we have seen that eddy currents are used in trains. When the trains are in speed and all of a sudden some hurdle comes in between, then they apply the brakes. In that case, the magnetic field is applied, and there is the brake is applied because of the eddy currents. The train stops. Then similarly, it is used in speedometer. Then it is used as a detector, metal detector. Also, the eddy currents, they are used in the. We are going to see that in next chapter. There is a transformer which is very important. In most of the places, you see this big transformers are there in the village, or the if you see outside when you go or when you are traveling, you see this big transformers are there. So what is there inside it? There is nothing but the laminated sheets, because of which the eddy current is stopped. Now this we are going to see in next lecture. So before that, what we are going to see today is this. Now definition of self-inductance. So now what is self-inductance? That also we have studied last time. We have just seen the introduction of the self-inductance. So what is self-inductance? Now, self-inductance is the production of EMF because of the changing magnetic flux and the current. There is a change in the current or in the loop. So because of this, there is a self-inductance because of in the same loop we have the induced EMF due to the current flow. In the same loop. In next lecture, we are going to see because of one loop, there is a change in the other loop. There is because of the change in the current in one loop, there is the induced EMF in the other loop, and vice versa. That we are going to see it later on. That is a mutual inductance. Then, second, we are going to see the inductance of solenoid. Then, energy stored in magnetic field. So, these 3 points we are going to discuss, children. So, before that discussion, we'll just have the look at the PPT. So we're going to see the fourth part of this electromagnetic induction. So before this, I told you about the self-inductance. We'll just have a recap. Yes. So we have seen this last lecture. What is this self-inductance? Here you can see a coil. This is a primary coil or single coil, rheostat, battery, and a key. So here we can see that there is the production of induced EMF in the circuit on account of a change in the current. Okay, and this is called the self-inductance. Because of the same coil, there is the inductance in the same, induced EMF in the same coil. Okay, then we have seen that the flux linked with it, the magnetic flux linked with the circuit itself be phi, and it is proportional, the phi is proportional to the current I. And this phi is proportional to I, so we have this relation phi is equal to Li. Now L is constant and it is called the coefficient of self-inductance. The flux linkage for the coil with N turns corresponding to current I. So this is the flux linkage N. So we have flux linkage N phi B. So if there is a single turn, we have this equation, but if there are N turns, we have N phi B proportional to I. So N phi B is equal to Li, therefore L equal to N phi B upon I. Now according to Faraday's law, we know that induced EMF E equal to d phi upon dt. Now what is phi? We know phi is nothing but Li. So just you write in that equation and then you get L is the constant, take it outside the derivative, and the unit of inductance is nothing but volt per ampere per second, that is Henry. Okay, then we'll have this was what we had taken the last lecture. So now today's lecture, we'll see after what the definition of L. Now whatever we have seen, there are 3 definitions of L. We are going to see 3 definitions of L. So first one is phi, from phi equal to Li, or L is equal to phi upon I. The self-inductance of a circuit is the ratio of a magnetic flux linked with the circuit to the current flowing in it. Okay, so this is the ratio. You can see it is a ratio, or you can say it is magnetic flux per unit current. Then we have second we have seen by using the Faraday's law, L is equal to E upon di upon dt. So here again it is nothing but the ratio of the EMF to the current, or the rate of change of current, you can see. isn't it? Or we can say it is induced EMF per unit current, rate of change of current. Then this is the second definition. The third one is when a current increases, remember, when the current increases in the circuit and induced EMF acts opposite to it. This is we know because of the Lenz law. Induced EMF is acting in opposite direction. So because of this, the work will have to be done in order to establish the magnetic flux associated with a steady current I0 in the circuit. So the I0 is a steady current. Now we know what is the work done in time dt, which is nothing but dW is equal to EI, because work upon time is nothing but power, EI. So dW is equal to EI dt. Now for E, you are going to write it from the above equation. E is equal to minus L di upon dt dot I dot dt, where E is equal to minus L di upon dt. So now here I is constant, take it outside. So di by dt, Li di by dt dot dt. So dt will get cancelled here. So what remains is minus Li dot di. Now total work done, that's the total work W. So you will integrate this or take a summation of all this, small I. So W is equal to integration of dW, and it's from 0 to I0, which is nothing but minus Li di. Now or W equal to, now what is the integration of I di? L is constant. L is the self-inductance is constant, you take it out of integration, and I di is nothing but I square upon 2, but its limits are given from 0 to I0. So I0, here we have I0 square minus L I0 square upon 2. Now this is the equation of work done. If the current is I0 is 1, then we'll see that self-inductance is twice the work done. So that is equal to half Li0 square. This is a magnitude. In magnitude, when we write, we have not taken the negative sign. Now if I0 equal to 1, then this equation is 1. Then we have W equal to L upon 2, where L is equal to 2W numerically. Hence, self-inductance of a circuit is numerically equal to twice the work done in establishing the magnetic flux associated with unit current in the circuit. So unit current is one value. So this equation comes when the self-inductance of a circuit is numerically equal to twice the work done in establishing the magnetic flux associated with unit current in the circuit. Now this work done W will represent the energy of the circuit. Remember. Then energy of the circuit equal to half Li0 square. Then we know that the mechanical energy is expressed in terms of kinetic energy as K is equal to half mv square. So this relation is quite known to us, half mv square. So we can have comparison of these two equations here. Your L is the self-inductance, it is as good as the inertial mass here, m. So it is same analogous, you can see. Energy of the circuit is equal to half Li square. So here it is half mv square. Mechanical energy is expressed in terms of kinetic energy. So this was regarding the energy. Now, that was the definitions we saw. 3 definitions of Li, of L. One is phi upon I, second is E upon L. L is equal to E upon di upon dt, and this third one is, it is in terms of work done, W is equal to or L is equal to 2W. Simple as it is, twice the work done. Now inductance of a solenoid. Now solenoid is very much you are acquainted with this solenoid. So what is solenoid? It is a hollow cylindrical form of a wire wound coil. Isn't it? Number of turns are there, like a spring in the ball pen. So that is a solenoid. So inductance of solenoid. Now, if a current I is established in the windings tones of a long solenoid, the current produces a magnetic flux phi b through the central region. The inductance of a solenoid is given by L equal to N phi b upon I. So remember, this is the magnetic flux linkage N phi b. So inductance L is equal to, so just you're going to multiply, L is equal to phi upon I. But here, since magnetic flux, if there are number of turns, so we have a solenoid here, isn't it? There are number of turns for the solenoid. So L is equal to N phi b upon I, where N is the number of turns and N phi b is called magnetic flux linkage. Remember this, N phi b is very important. It is called the magnetic flux linkage. For a length L near the middle of the solenoid, the flux linkage is, so N phi b. So you are going to write for N phi b is equal to. Now what is N? N is N phi b. So by Lenz's law we have phi b is equal to b dot a, and for N number of turns per unit. This is L is the length of that solenoid. So it is NL b dot a. So that is equal to NL dA for theta equal to 0, for theta equal to 0, where N is the number of turns per unit length, B is the magnetic field inside, and A is the cross-sectional area of the solenoid. Remember this is a very important equation. Then L is equal to N phi b upon I. So now we'll have that equation. And we know that we have seen in magnetic field due to electric current that for the solenoid the magnetic field is equal to how much? Mu 0 Nb or mu 0 Ni. Sorry, B is equal to mu Ni. So that we are going to see. We are going to substitute for B, and then that I will get cancelled. So B is equal to mu 0 Ni. Hence, L is equal to, now for that equation, L is equal to, this is the magnetic flux linkage upon I. L is equal to magnetic linkage upon I, magnetic flux linkage upon I. So now N is equal to NL BA upon I. So that is equal to NL mu 0 Ni A upon I. So that is equal to, L is equal to mu 0 N square LA, where AL is the interior volume of solenoid, where AL is the interior. Now A is the area, L is the length, so it becomes the volume. So AL is the interior volume of the solenoid. Therefore, inductance per unit length near the middle of the long solenoid is. So this capital L upon L, that is the inductance per unit length, is equal to mu 0 N square A, which is equal to mu 0 N square pi r square. So R means nothing but D upon 2. So it is written that form, pi D square upon 4. So D being the diameter of the solenoid. Okay. So here we can see that L is directly proportional to N square. L is proportional to N square. Also it is proportional to D square. Remember these 2 points, that L is directly proportional to N square, that is the number of turns, and it is also proportional to the diameter of the solenoid. Or you can say radius also, but diameter we have taken here. Now the next point. The next point which you are going to see is the energy stored in a magnetic field. Energy, this is the last point we are going to discuss, children. I hope you are studying at home. Open your books and sit whenever you are sitting for the lecture and try to understand the concepts. They are very easy. Once you understand physics, it is a scoring subject. Like maths, you can score full marks in physics. Now see here, and each chapter is interrelated with the next chapter. Remember that. So energy stored in a magnetic field. Now, we know changing magnetic flux in a coil causes induced EMF. This is known to us because of the changing magnetic field means what? The number of lines are changing because of the change in current and it causes induced EMF, isn't it? Then the induced EMF so produced opposes the change and hence the energy has to be spent to overcome it, to build up the magnetic field. So remember this. So what happens because of the change induced EMF? It is being opposed. It opposes the change by Lenz's second law, and some work is to be done to spend to overcome this and to build up the magnetic field. Okay. Then this energy may be recovered as heat in the resistance of a circuit. In the resistance, it is like a heat energy. It is stored in the form of heat energy for the resistance. But now, for example, in electrostatics, we have seen the total energy UE is stored in the medium between the plate of the capacitor with capacitance C and charge Q held at the potential V. So we have seen in the chapter of electrostatics that UE is equal to the different forms of this equation. UE is equal to Q square upon 2C, which is equal to CV square upon 2. That is when Q is, therefore Q is equal to CV. So we know that in capacitance ratio we have this, we have seen that Q is equal to CV. If we substitute for Q CV square, then we have this equation. Now similar to this equation, just like electrostatics, we have this total energy UE. In magnetic field we have UE. So we'll just go through it. The energy spent to build up a current I in a circuit having an inductance L. So see here children, the induced EMF E is equal to what? Induced EMF is minus L di by dt. Correct? Then the work done in moving a charge dq against this EMF is, the dw is equal to what? dw is equal to, we know, we have seen this, that dw E is equal to dw upon dq. We have seen this in electromotive force, that dw is equal to minus E dq. This is the relation. Now for minus E, I want to substitute this equation, this value. So minus minus will become plus here. So it will become equal to L di upon dt dot dq. Now L dot di dot dq upon dt, this is equal to, now you know the rate of change of charge is nothing but current. So dq upon dt is I. So instead of dq by dt, you are going to write it here di. So that is equal to L dot I dot di. Therefore, the total work W is equal to integration of, so we know as it is that when you find out the total work done, then you are going to integrate this. So integrate this from 0 to Li, 0 to I, Li di. So what is the constant terms? Take it outside. L is a constant term, take it outside. So x dx means x square upon 2, the integration. So it is half Li square. This we have seen it initially when we are seeing the definition of self-inductance. So we have got this equation. The same equation is there here. So this is nothing but equal to UB. It is called the UB. That is nothing but the energy stored in the magnetic field. So this is very important equation, children. So refer this, try to understand the concepts and study. Now, I have taken the same questions again because you have to go through it, write it in your book, and you can just forward to me through WhatsApp. That will be best way. So, see, what is the question I have given you is, what do you mean by electromagnetic induction? State Faraday's law of induction. So it's very simple. So I asked for 2 marks. What do you mean by electromagnetic induction? State Faraday's law of induction. So there are 2 laws. So you have to write the 2 laws. Then state and explain Lenz's law in the light of principle of conservation of energy. Okay, so you have to state and explain the Lenz's law. Then third one is the, what are the eddy currents? State the applications of eddy currents. So go through this eddy currents, what are the eddy currents, what is the working of it, and how it can be avoided, or how we can prevent the eddy currents, and see what are the applications of eddy currents. Then next are the problems. I've just given you, but you go home and try to study what it is. The thing is, a horizontal wire 20-meter long extending from east to west is falling with a velocity of 10 meters per second normal to the Earth's magnetic field of 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla. What is the value of induced EMF in the wire? So you have to find out small e. So small e. So you see here, horizontal wire is there, 20-meter long. This is the length of the wire given. From east to west is falling with a velocity of 10 meters per second. So this is, this is the motional electromotive force. That is the translation motion. So length of the wire is given 20 m and velocity is 10. So length L is given, B is given, and B is given. B is this Tesla, 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla. So you write down what is given, and then what is the value of the induced EMF in the wire. So I told you before the, I think so before inductance and energy transfer, we derived this for rotational motion and translation motion, that E is equal to BLV. So if you solve this BLV, this is in meters, this is in meters, so SI unit is same, so it's very simple. So this into this, so you'll get this. This is 10 millivolt. This is the induced EMF. So 20 into 10, 200 into 5.5. 200 into 0.5, 10. 200, 5 is 10. 200 into 0.5. And into 10 raised to minus 4. So you just do the shuffling and you'll understand what it is. It will come this. Next problem. This is the second problem rather. A surge coil having 2000 turns with an area 1.5 centimeters square is placed in a magnetic field of 0.62 Tesla. This is the magnetic field, so it is in Tesla. So this is the area, it is in centimeters. And the coil is moved rapidly out of the field in a time of 0.2 second. Calculate the induced EMF across the surge coil. Now this is a coil, it is in round shape coil. This area is already given 1.5 centimeters square. But you have to convert it now, turns N is okay. Then area is 1.5 centimeters square. So you convert it into meters. So it will be 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 meters square, right? And into this is B. So B is 0.60 T. The coil is moving rapidly out of the field in time of 0.2 second. So number of turns are there, area is there, B is there. So N, we have E equal to what? E, calculate the E equal to what? d phi upon dt. Phi means what? Phi N B A, right? So divided by 0.2. So you go through this, you will get the answer. And as a homework, you do this 5 questions, and you may send it to me, or you write it for yourself, and afterwards we'll get it checked. So we'll just see how it goes on. So children, please study this chapter thoroughly. It's very easy. If you try to understand the before 2 chapters, this is easy one. And we'll have a last lecture in which we'll see mutual inductance, and we'll see the coupling, the coefficient of coupling, and also we'll see the transformer, and then we'll go for the problems if time permits. Okay, thank you. This is enough for today's lecture. Hope you have understood. If you have any doubts, any problems, you can ask me anytime. Hope children you have understood today's lecture and go study this chapter thoroughly. See, we cannot teach everything 100%. We can just teach you 80%. 20% is your self-study. Try to solve the problems. Try to understand the concepts first, and then go to the problems. It's very easy. If you have any problem, you are free to ask us anytime. The children, all the best. Stay home, stay safe. So thank you. May God bless you all.